Welcome to the Geek and I podcast. My name is John. We are joined again by our triple co-hosts. We'll bring them on in a bit. Tonight's episode is going to be a mishmash of 3 Star Trek Picard episodes. We are doing episodes 4, 5, and 6. And let's bring everybody in. Here's Debbie, Bill, and Jeff. Guys, hello. How are you?
Loving the Starfleet uniform.
I'm going to have to turn my camera off in about 15 minutes because it does not fit anymore. So I am being crunched. I'm about ready to pop a rib. So once I get undressed, I'm going to turn the camera off because this is super tight. I'm kind of got the gray like what's his name?
Riker.
No, Captain. Oh, well, I guess I'm old enough to be Riker, but I was going for the other guy. My captain.
Captain Shaw?
Oh.
Captain Shaw, yeah. Yeah, Captain.
Don't tell
Captain
us,
S.
Don't tell us we're putting that tribble, okay?
Yes, we're in Tribble.
Oh.
This is an attack Tribble. So I'm glad you brought that up because I've been going through some stuff in the garage, and I've found so much really, really cool memorabilia that I had growing up when I was this big Trekkie, and now that Picard has come to be what it is, I'm really, really enjoying going back and finding my old stuff. And I think, other than this Tribble, I think I might have shown you guys this pocket watch. I think this is a Franklin Mint pocket watch. My mom got this for me for a birthday one year.
Uh-oh.
And I added my own lights to it. That's how geeky I was. I went to Radio Shack and did my own lights.
Very cool.
And it actually blinks.
Now, a lot of
I
kids don't know what
programmed
Radio
it.
Shack is.
Yeah, for you kids out there, Radio Shack is where you used to go to buy your stuff
Back in the day.
when, it was the original STEM store, I guess,
So just
right?
like Captain Shaw, you started in engineering.
Yes, I started at engineering, and but I found this today, and I was shocked that it actually lights up and works.
It still works.
And the only thing that doesn't work about it is I put a little. There's right here. It's a little button, so when you close it, it turns itself off.
That's cool.
But it doesn't work anymore, so I got to use the power switch. So, welcome everybody.
Hey, Bill,
Let's
where'd you get
let's
those
do
tribbles from?
a quick roundabout of what you thought of episode 4 and 5, and then we'll jump into 6. So, Jeff, what did you think of episode 4 and 5?
Can you hear me?
If you speak, we can hear you. Yes.
Well, I was asking a question to Bill earlier, but didn't hear that. Anyway, Bill, where'd you get that tribble from? Still wondering.
It's a dead Tribble. I think I got it at Star Trek Las Vegas.
Nice. Oh, is that from when it opened the experience?
No, this was the last convention and some vendor was selling it. So it doesn't make noise. It's a dead one.
I have one. It's somewhere in here, and it does
Well,
make noise.
thoughts about But it's your cat, though, right?
No. No. Wrong franchise.
This one was from
Was Forrest thought?
Loot Crate. I got this one from Loot Crate. There was a whole Star Trek box with that.
Are you taking it?
All right, so we're gonna move along. we're gonna put together
My jokes are funny.
we're gonna put together a GoFundMe for to get Jeff a new computer. So.
Oh Lord. So for the last
Deb, what do you think of episode 4 and 5?
Saw them a couple of times, forgot about them.
Was that for me or Bill?
Deb, what do you got on episode 4 and 5?
Well, I mean, there's no complaints from me. This whole season has been exemplar. I mean, it's just, this is what Star Trek has been and always should be. This. Episode 4 was no win scenario where they're still trying to get out of the gravity well of the nebula. And, no win scenario always reminds me of Kirk. And they pretty much pulled a Kirk. I mean, they got out of there. And then episode 5 was imposters and surprise cameo. Nobody's seen that one coming with what's her name, Rowe?
Ensign Rowe, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when she came on board, I was like, but I was so happy.
Yeah, because it was all over Twitter. Everybody was shocked at how that did not leak anywhere.
Yeah.
Nobody knew anything, and I even saw on Twitter, Terry Metalis said, "I'm surprised this hasn't gotten out." And because people have seen the whole show already, and nobody let it leak. And that's what happens, I think, is when you have a good show, people will respect the spoilers because they want everybody to experience it the way they did.
Yeah, both episodes were excellent. No complaints.
And I hate to see her go, because when she was on Next Gen, I had a big crush on Ro. So she was always one of my favorites. Always stood up to Picard and didn't take crap from anybody. And she was just a great character. And I kind of, it's like there's a thing now where they're saying they fridged Ensign Ro Laren, but it worked for the story. So. Bill, what are your takes on 4 and 5?
I totally agree with everything that's been said so far, but I just found out that Vedic, played by Amanda Plummer, is the daughter of the Klingon, Christopher Plummer.
You didn't know
how
that?
How cool is that?
Oh my
did
God.
not know that till today.
Yeah, I think we talked about that on when you were on the ship.
Yeah.
When
okay.
Yeah, we had discussed that when you were on vacation.
On a Star Trek vacation.
But yeah, that's pretty neat. I didn't know that either until she was on the show here, and I guess when you're related to a decent, yeah.
She's pretty badass for an evil character. Like, wow, she is really good.
I think she's going a little too far. She reminds me of Honey Bunny, where it's just a little too much for my taste. But if she could back it down just a tad, then that would be awesome. But yeah, she's doing a great job. everybody is like falling in to their characters again. And I gotta say, now if you, so far, who is your favorite?
Character?
Favorite character?
Yes. So far, who fell back into their character and has upped the game?
I think Riker fell in pretty easily. I mean, from the get-go, that was just Riker from TNG. I mean, there was just no doubt about that. Worf is a little different because he's a pacifist now. And then trying to think. I think Seven is pretty much like she has been.
Okay.
Picard, I mean, compared to the first two seasons, which, and I love Picard, but you know, the first two seasons, it just did not feel like him. This feels like him.
Yeah, it seems like he's actually alive now.
Yeah.
It's like he was just phoning it in the first 2 years, but now he's really sinking his teeth into it. And my favorite is I think Worf is doing a spectacular job. I love, he steals the scenes when he's in it.
Who doesn't love Michael Dorn? He's just so
Who
adorable.
doesn't love Michael Dorn? Yeah, I truly like
now
Picard
for me though,
a lot more.
I'm thinking. Sorry, Bill.
What are you thinking? Keep talking. Don't stop talking.
All right. So what I'm thinking here, after everybody's cameos and getting the warm hugs and stuff, especially after this episode, 7 and 9, her character has not expanded much. Everyone else's character has grown a little bit. And I wanted to see what's going on with 7 and 9, and why is it taking so long? That's just a me thing. Sorry,
She's
Bill.
a lot different than what she was on board Voyager. I mean, she's not the stiff, you know, Borg character that we knew her from, you know, while she was on Voyager. I think she's become more human, I guess, or less Borg, whatever you want to say. But yeah, but she's still very loyal.
Not doing much.
Well, it's not called the
I think she
Seventh
could
Show.
be like her. She could have her own acting series because she seems very comfortable with her character. She's willing to do, gosh, she just feels more of that leadership type of person now as a commander.
So let me ask you guys this: how do you feel about her keeping the name 7 of 9 or 7? Do you? The thing that I have about it is she could have been, what's her original name?
Annika Hansen.
Right. So she could have been, once the Borg is out of her, basically, she could have gone back and said, I want to be Annika Hansen. But she decided to remain 7. Is there a reason that you think?
Because she's
For
been
that,
Seven
because-
a lot longer than she was ever Annika. Because she was
Because
taken as
she was a
child.
kid, right?
Mhm.
She was kidnapped
Yeah.
as a child, right?
Yep. So she
And
doesn't know
Seven's
who
a cool
Annika
name.
is. Yeah. Who wouldn't want 7 as a name?
Yeah, but I could also see that as a plot point where Shaw uses her name 7 as an insult because of his PTSD with Wolf 359, and she wants to be called Annika. And then when she saves him or kills the changeling at the end of that other episode, that's what the first time he calls her Annika. And I thought that could have been like a moment where they showed that he's got a sensitive side too. But that's just me, and I don't write these things. So
We don't get paid the big bucks.
Nah,
I don't get paid any bucks, so I don't know who's paying you.
No money, except for my first
Yeah.
No
job.
latinum for you.
now I'm still wondering who's these 9 other children. John, can you answer that question for me, or maybe Bill, or Debbie? The 9 children of. Because I watched Voyager, but not faithfully.
Well, there
We
was
never talk about the other Borgs.
Mm-mm.
yeah. I think doesn't it just I don't know who they were, right?
Yeah, it was just a pod, because the Borgs had their own little special pods. So out of the 9, she was out of the 9 in that pod, she was 7. So I don't think they were anybody significant.
Right.
They got blown out of the airlock, if I remember the scene
All right,
from
thanks, man.
Voyager.
Yeah, I was
Really?
never a big Voyager
I need to rewatch
fan. I am currently rewatching Next Gen, and I'm enjoying it just as much as the first time. Actually, I just watched the Moriarty episode, so with that being said, let's oh gosh, I'm choking myself here. Let's go into this episode, and let's check out what we are covering tonight in episode 6. But and I know it was on last night, and anybody that hasn't seen it yet, please go watch it. But right. Okay, so where do we start? We start at the beginning. I thought this was pretty cool. So tell us what's going on here, guys.
Is this the beginning?
All right, Debbie.
I thought it started with Vatic.
Last time on Picard.
Oh yes, previously on Star Trek.
You gotta use the voice.
Yeah, I'm not sure what this one is. I can't tell from the picture.
Well, this is their. This is the Titan signal buoy that they dropped out, and then all 3 ships show up to find the buoy.
Are we at Daystrom then?
No, not yet. We are still. This is the very beginning of the episode, where you find out that they're dropping off the buoys, and the.
Weird. My episode started with Vatic.
I think that comes after this.
You got a special
That's
episode.
weird. Yeah, I guess. Because I'm like, I don't know what the hell this picture's from. Carry on.
So then we cut
Is
to
this where
Vatic.
They're searching for the Titan, right? That's where
They're searching, right? They're searching for the Titan, and we go to Vatic, and she has that speech with where she's smoking again. She's going to end up with lung cancer by the end of the final episode, and
Probably space pot. That's why she's so crazy, man. She got some bad stuff.
Yeah,
So
don't be
she's,
that crew member that just got killed.
Mm-hmm.
see now everybody was saying that changelings don't kill their own. But I don't think these clicky guys are changelings.
I don't think they are either.
Oh.
Are they a new form of Dominion?
Well, I saw Deep Space Nine. Do you think they're the Breen? Because I remember the Breen had these helmets and they'd have these clicky noises. I'm like, is that the new look of the Breen?
Oh, that could be, right.
Yeah, it's been so long since I've seen that.
Yeah.
But it could be.
But I just love the weapons, how they just like dematerialize a whole body. I'm like, that is so cool.
But it didn't do that with the changeling, right? Because the one that was imitating LaForge, that one stayed, right? So they could dissect it.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they just have these set on disintegrate.
Yeah, I'm not sure,
So
because the other ones that they shot at would turn back into goo.
Right. And these aren't turning into goo.
Mm-mm.
These are just disappearing. And this I think this is like an homage to Krug in Star Trek 3. In the beginning. Remember where Krug has the guy killed?
Dog.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So then she goes on a rant. She wants scorched earth in space, and she is gonna hunt down and find Picard. Why does she not say Picard? Why is it always Picard? It's like she's leaving letters off.
Maybe she uses it as an insult. People do that. Well, you know, they don't pronounce your name on purpose correctly.
Right.
They do it as an insult or a put down.
True.
But then we get the title card, and then we see the Titan here by a giant sun, and we go in and we're getting a diagnosis, and letting everybody know that what's his name? Jack has Irematic syndrome. Now, is that something that Picard has had mentioned before?
I had to look this one up because I was like, I am blanking out on this Irematic syndrome. But evidently,
right?
Huh?
No. It's a inherited gene from his ancestry. So it's on Picard's side.
So it's not Borg?
No. So when I found out, it's a future version of Alzheimer's disease.
Yeah, it's similar to dementia, and from what I looked up, it said Picard got it in the alternate timeline because of Q, which happened in the series finale in '94. All Good Things.
All Good Things, right?
That's when it happened.
Oh, the ending.
And I didn't remember that because it's been so long since I've seen TNG. So, but interesting.
That was the
Jack
ending
is
episode,
true.
right?
He's got Irematic syndrome, and he's gonna go bald.
Yeah.
He's kind of screwed.
The kid's doomed. But
Damn it,
like
Jill.
Picard said, he lived with it for decades. So I'm surprised they don't have a cure for that for some reason. Being that, you know, they're in the future and there's no diseases or anything.
That and baldness.
So it's a fact.
Yeah, it doesn't bode well for me, does it?
You're doomed, John.
I am doomed. That's why I wear a hat. So then they go back to... I wish this was 10 forward. This needs to be 10 forward. Not 10 forward in the
You want to
past.
see Guy
But
again, don't you?
10 forward it on the Enterprise.
Enterprise D. Is this Guyan's bar?
This is
That's what it reminds me of.
from when they went back in time in last season, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is where he breaks it to him that
Down.
this is where he breaks it to him that I'm not gonna live. I'm just gonna drink my troubles away, and then right before they go on the away mission, where they talk about how they have to break into the what is it, the Daystrom, and they say that we are. It's surrounded by a super intelligent AI, and that's where they get the key from the Vulcan. What was his name?
Yeah.
Hey, John, we got a new subscriber.
We got 2 so far. So
Let's give him a shout out, man.
we are. We get this little.
I just like the fact that Daystrom Station is put together by Section 31. How cool is that?
Yeah, it's a cool throwback, and these 2 are. And I guess I missed it because I really didn't watch, or I didn't really pay attention to the first 2 seasons. But I guess these 2 like hooked up sometime. Was it last season, or did they do that in the first season?
Yeah.
2.
No, last season.
Yeah, season 2.
Okay.
Actually,
yeah,
it was
they
at
talk-
the very end of season 1. They kind of hooked up at the very end. It was like the last scene of the series, of the season, and then it continued on in season 2.
So here we have Worf reminding us what the Federation did to the goo puddle in Deep Space Nine, which I had completely forgotten about. It's one of those. I haven't seen Deep Space Nine since probably it aired, so I had forgotten that the whole Dominion changeling thing. And they set off a virus in the goo puddle, and maybe I don't know. Is that they don't look different, right? Except when they take humanoid form, they look.
Well, they look more human now because they used to look like Odo.
Yeah, they couldn't quite get the human shape right, or the human facial features.
Yeah.
So they've been studying. Yeah.
But they're more plastic.
They've been working on it. So apparently Starfleet ain't that good. They do have their dark side, which is pretty neat.
I'm loving it. Section 31. I love the Section 31.
I would love to see a Section 31 show.
I thought they were supposed to do a Section 31 with Michelle Yeoh being the lead.
I think they're still talking about it.
Well, as popular as she is now and an Oscar winner, they need to jump on that. Of course, it may be too late. She may be saying, "No, you all are small stuff."
Yeah.
Show me the money. Show me the platinum.
Yeah.
So they're going off to Daystrom Station. They're going to go burgle the equipment that what did they call it? The manifest. They're going to go in and grab the manifest, and Worf is like, I've gone into battle with lovers countless times. And then they're like, no, we're okay. I'm not going. He goes, that is good. I was just kidding.
I was trying
And
to
then he
practicing
then-
deceit.
yeah, and then he's like, that is a relief. I was practicing deceit. He is a great. They've written his character great this year. He is really, really good and enjoyable. And then I like the follow-up where he's like, relationships on my world usually end in bloodshed, which is pretty cool. Now, where do you think Alexander is? Because everybody's having their kids on this. Everybody's talking about their kids and their little ones who are now grown up. Do you think Alexander is somewhere going to make an appearance, or if they do a Star Trek the next generation?
I remember in Next Generation, the future Alexander comes back as a Klingon. He went to the Klingon world to be like a Klingon in one of the TNG episodes.
Again, I don't remember. I have to start watching it again. That's how good it is.
I remember.
He was not one of my favorite characters.
See, here's what I'm thinking. Go ahead, Debbie. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying he was never one of my favorite characters. Just one of those annoying kids, and Worf was not a great dad. He pretty much sucked at it. And
see, what I was thinking was that Ralphie's kid and Worf's kid's going to come together to save their butts. That's just my thoughts in the future.
Well, how old is Raffi's kid?
well, she has a son.
Yeah, do they mention how old it is? How old he is?
Well, he has a daughter, so he's old enough if he wanted to do anything.
Right, Paramount.
All right, so they beam aboard the
Riker has some
Daystrom.
cool lines. He's got some quick quips about Worf. This is so funny.
Yeah, it's well written, and Riker has his moments. Everybody's got their moments where they fall right back into their character, and it's just brilliant writing. So here's the first of the Easter eggs.
The first two episodes the first two seasons were just like this.
Yeah. So here's the first of the Easter eggs. This is the Genesis 2.
Yeah.
So after Genesis, they kept David's work alive and continued and built another Genesis device. Do we know where that is? Have they dropped any hints? Did it ever get completed? I guess it would be behind that screen, right? Because this is all, locked warehouses and stuff. This is kind of like the warehouse at the end of Indiana Jones or Raiders of the Lost Ark, where all the government's hidden stuff is. So we go from this. We go from the Genesis 2 device to possibly the biggest Easter egg in Star Trek ever. The body of James T. Kirk. Now, which Kirk is it? Does that look like William Shatner, or does that look like Chris Pine?
I would assume it's referring
Does
to
it have the smoke look?
I think it's referring to the movie Generations.
Yeah.
And
William
I don't
Shatner's
know.
calling Paramount right now. Hey, I want to be on the next episode.
Well, you know, there's a Shatnerverse in books. He wrote a book called The Return, where I believe it's the Romulans who actually come back and get his body off of where he died there at the bridge, and they wipe his mind and they convince him that he grew up on Romulan. And yeah, the first book, I think it was the first 2 books I read, and I loved them. But yeah, they came back and got his body. I don't know if this is something there. I don't know. It's just weird that they have his body.
They got to bring him back before he passes away. He's like 90, 94 or something like that. He's got to come back.
Well, he just
had a
92.
birthday. Yeah,
92 2 days
92,
ago.
that's right.
Yeah.
And that's I had a chance last week, and Jeff knows this, but I could not make it down to Austin. I was invited to the premiere of the Shatner documentary. I had 2 passes to go down, and passes to the Shatner after party, and I could not make it. And everybody that I know from Legion M who went says it was a blast, and he was such a nice guy.
Yeah, I saw that interview that he had talking with Jeff Anderson. Right? Jeff Anderson?
Yeah.
And talking about the whole thing. And that was really cool to watch. You have that available on the Geek and I podcast, right?
The
Facebook?
I have from when we interviewed Jeff Anderson from Legion M, yeah. And we'll be doing a follow-up with him shortly. So keep an eye out for that too. But let's get back to this episode. Here's Kirk, and then next, I did not know they had teeth.
Tribbles!
So I'm going to put this guy over there so he does not bite.
Does it have teeth?
I think that was a mutant.
And he still hates the Klingons.
Yeah. So they basically weaponized a tribble.
Yep.
Yeah, the attack and right. So we get some ID going on of Riker and the crew.
This was probably my favorite part.
In the episode?
Yeah. Well, there's one other, but I thought this section was so cool. This whole scene was just so cool. I loved it.
Fan service.
And then we get a crow, and I couldn't remember what the crow symbolized. But then you hear the violin, and then I'm like, oh, okay. I remember the crow. So the AI is now it's activating the security measures, and then there he is.
Moriarty.
One of the coolest characters, one of the coolest side characters.
Yep.
And I can't tell if this guy has been de-aged to look.
Because he does not look like he's aged a bit.
Yeah, this has to be de-aging, unless this guy's actually is a hologram, because he looks exactly like he did in 1988. Because that episode was in season 2,
Well, you
And he
the
looks
lighting
really
Use
good.
footage.
in episode 2. Lighting is not that great in this season.
And then we cut back to what do they call this? This is
Fleet Museum.
Museum.
Anthem Prime. It's the Fleet Museum.
yes, and it is run by
This
Commodore
one I love the most.
LaForge. This was if you had if the Genesis device and Kirk's X-ray were Easter eggs, this is the whole Easter basket after you've hunted, and it is now ready for breakfast Easter morning, because there is so many Easter eggs here that I don't even know, because you look down and you scroll down Twitter and everybody's like, okay, this ship is this ship is this ship is this, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what any of these ships are, but the ones that I do know.
The only one I didn't know was the New Jersey. I didn't know that one. Or where
Well,
it
I
was from.
think that was
I just enjoyed
from
the way they started showing the ship. I thought that was cool.
Is he taking
I don't
off
know. I
his
think
shirt?
they
He's getting naked, man.
no. I thought I had a
Put
Star
out a
Trek
triple.
encyclopedia behind me, but I don't. Unless it's over there. Hold on. I'll be right back.
Debbie, where's your notes?
Talk amongst yourselves.
I don't want a triple, man. I don't want to know.
I don't know where my Tribble is.
So name off the ships, Debbie. Can you?
They had
You
the
have a note
Defiant.
about ships?
They had the the Defiant. I remembered the New Jersey. I had no clue where that one came from, but they had the original 1701A Enterprise, Kirk's Enterprise. They had a couple of they had Voyager, and what I loved about this scene was with
They had Pike's Enterprise, right?
that I don't.
I
Did
don't
they
know.
show a different
No.
Enterprise?
Kirk's.
Because they showed two Enterprises that look very similar. I thought one was Pike's.
Oh, when we get there, we'll get there when we get
A
there.
different version. All right. John's theory was changing.
So we run into Geordi, and he has turned into a grumpy old man.
Yeah.
He's like,
His
he's now, he's Commodore, get off my lawn. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I really wanted to smack him a couple times upside the head and do you not remember all the years you served on, with
Yeah.
Picard? And now all of a sudden you're just like, I don't want to do that.
so then we have a
Yeah,
nice
two-
moment with
two daughters.
him and Beverly. And, I didn't realize it because, again, I haven't seen it since, it's been a few years since I've seen All Good Things. I think that one and The Best of Both Worlds are the two that I usually watch most often. And I didn't realize that the two daughters mentioned in All Good Things are these two girls.
I rewatched that after watching it the first time and rewatched the end of the Next Generation just because of that, and then rewatched this episode again. And I recommend doing that highly. Watch the last two episodes of Generation, come back to this, you'll get a lot more stuff.
Yeah. Stuff that you miss, because I didn't know that the
Yep.
daughters, were originally mentioned in All Good Things, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, I
that
didn't-
again goes back to care and writing of a story that pays tribute to what came before it and just doesn't, hang the name Star Trek on it, thinking that it's going to sell. Because I think that's what happened with Discovery is they just created a show, threw the name Star Trek on it, and hoped it would sell. And I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about Discovery, but I couldn't get past the first 2 episodes of season 2. I struggled through season 1 and couldn't do season 2.
I've watched all of them, and I'll more than likely watch the final season. But the problem I had with Discovery was it was the Michael Burnham show, and I swear to God, she cried in every freaking episode. And for me, I just did not feel the Kirk, Spock, McCoy, or the Picard, Data and Riker. The togetherness. I just never got that out of Discovery.
Yeah, I felt it was like a non-Gene Roddenberry sanctioned series. I just couldn't. This was not a Gene Roddenberry type of film.
Right. So here we see LaForge give Beverly a big hug. How you do? And then there's his there's his other daughter,
Alundra.
who I think is this the one that's actually his real life daughter?
No, Sydney is his real life daughter.
Sydney.
Oh, so LaForge is actually
LaForge.
she's LaForge is a LaForge?
Yes.
Okay. So then we go back. Now this is back at Daystrom. And then there's the Moriarty trying to take out our heroes. And then
The flashback. This was so
Riker has a
great.
flashback. Which
Cool.
I'm gonna have to. I want to go back and match up this with the original episode and see if they just cropped it or if they actually ran it through AI and made it high def widescreen. Because it actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, I think they might have remastered it. It's the original. I mean,
Yeah.
actual
They
scene.
probably
I
cleaned it
think
up.
they remastered it.
Right. So then there's our
Moriarty home security system for my house.
yes.
That's a good one, man.
So then we have there was a cool throwback here where he says marvelous, and then in the flashback you see that Data says marvelous because he's so impressed that Riker can whistle that he and I thought that was another cool touch. One simple word, out of a 2-hour pilot episode brings back feels. It's like
Yeah.
these guys are right on with what they're doing.
They're knocking it
So
out
then
of
we
the
go
park.
in and we see that it's Data. We go back to the
Which I like
Titan.
this data look than I did season 1 and 2. Or was it
Yes.
Season 1?
So they're trying to figure out how they can help. Geordi doesn't want to help. But his daughter suggests. What about Hangar Bay 12? What is in Hangar Bay 12? Any ideas?
Was that where
Probably like Area 51.
Or, yeah, I don't know. I thought maybe she was referring to the Klingon bird of prey. One of them, because there was two of them there.
See, I was thinking, oh, Enterprise D. If it's the museum, maybe it's where Enterprise D is decommissioned.
Well, it would only be the saucer section.
Yeah, because that's the one they crashed, right?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, that's true.
The battle bridge blew up in space, and then the saucer crashed. The first time, I think that was the.
That was Generations, right?
That was Generations, and the first time they gave the wheel to Deanna, she crashed the ship.
Oh, you know what? Maybe it's Enterprise F, because that one stayed intact, right?
Yes, because it was being rebuilt at the end of Nemesis.
That'd be a
So
cool
I'm
fact.
curious to see what's in Hangar Bay 12. Unless, I mean, it could just be a Slurpee machine, and they're all just thirsty, which would be really cool because I could go for a Slurpee. So Jack and Seven sit down on the bridge, and I think it's pretty cool the way they did this. Is she's like, hey, that's the captain's chair. Don't be sitting in that. And he's like, oh, I just want to try it out. So he sits down in the captain's chair, and they start going through all the Easter eggs.
This was
So
awesome.
we have.
This scene was just awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched this part and one other part so many times because this part makes you feel good, and the other part that I watch all the time, it makes me laugh out loud because it is so perfect.
I loved it, man.
Yeah, I loved the scene because with each ship, they did the music for that ship
Yeah.
or for
Yes.
that series.
That was cool.
And that is something I've been harping on about Star Wars and all these Star Wars TV shows is you own the rights to the music. Why are you not using it?
Because those characters are not in this show.
But it's
They
not
used it
characters.
But they used it for when Luke appeared. They used, that theme. So yeah, I mean they've used it, but I don't know. I like the new music.
All right. So
That was mean. I went down to the bottom of the thing.
yes, anybody that likes Star Wars it goes down to the bottom.
I disappeared altogether, man.
Well, that's your own fault. So
Debbie
we
down
have
in-
the
Debbie
we got
now
the
down
New
in lower
Jersey.
decks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so where's the New
The
Jersey
Lord,
from?
So from what I was reading on Twitter today, is the New Jersey is the final Constitution class built before the refit.
Okay.
That's why I saw
It, again,
twice.
that's Twitter, so I could only assume that it's true when Terry Metalis comments on it and says, basically you are correct. So there's the New Jersey, and then here's my baby. This is my Enterprise. Not really, because I like the Enterprise from Star Trek 2, because this is the one that has the different bridge.
Dash A.
that they couldn't get running in Star Trek V. But still, this is my style Enterprise. And then we have Voyager. And this one really made me want to watch Voyager, because I don't think I've ever finished the entire series, but seeing this and hearing the music, I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to give this a shot and see if I can watch this. I think I might roll through TNG and then DS9 and then Voyager and Enterprise. And so 7 has a good line where she says that she was reborn there. And then the namesake of the episode. Now, let me ask you this. What did you guys think the title of the episode meant before we got to this part?
No clue.
No clue.
Yeah, didn't know.
I was thinking that the bounty would be Jack, and that's what they wanted because they've been hunting him down.
That's what they were naming the. That's what they're naming the Klingon ship, right? The bounty.
Yeah, HMS Bounty. Yep.
I forgot about that.
The one with the whales.
Voyage home.
Yep.
Voyage home.
So then we go back, and there's Data. He is locked up, inoperable because they couldn't get all the
personalities.
Yes, personalities to combine correctly. So they just hooked him up as the security system. So this is no longer Data. This is ADT.
Or DDT.
They gave him a designation, which I can't remember what it was, but they gave him a designation.
Is that in your notes, Deb?
I don't think I wrote down what his designation was. It was like D54 or something, blah, blah, blah.
It was some number, I think.
But I just wrote down the personalities that was in him, and that's mostly Data. You got Lore, you got B4, and then you have Lau.
Yeah.
But isn't Lal just Data?
No, Lal was another android.
Right, but he loaded his personality onto her. And her positronic brain wasn't.
She loaded upwards to him.
Yeah.
Right, so he was
that episode, right?
Yeah. Right before she kicked it.
Yeah.
And then before he died, he loaded himself into B4.
Right. So now there's 3 Lals in there. Right?
He's a schizo now. He's a schizo.
Yeah, there's
whenever copy, there's always a problem, right? When you copy programs,
just look at your T-shirt.
Hey.
Whenever you copy an audio cassette, it loses quality down the road. So
It's a Memorex, man.
Those were the days.
So then this is, which Sung is this?
This is Alton.
Alton.
I don't remember. Who was he?
One of many.
He's the son
Sunans.
of the creator, Noonan's son.
The last legacy, right?
So
the
Alton
last
is
blood.
the last blood. So he's the son of Noonan's son. Noonan's son is the one who created Data.
Right. no relation to Khan,
And
right?
we saw him in episode 1, right? Well, son. We saw
soon,
that happen,
I think they
right?
call it soon.
So then we go back to the Titan, and after a long talk with Geordi, get off my lawn, the Picard realizes that he's not going to help. He's just a grumpy old man, and we're going to get out of here and leave his ass behind. And then she calls him out, and I thought this was great. And where she's like, he's like, they're not your family. And that was so perfect because everybody else, when he was on the ship, they were a family.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's telling her that they're not a family because he's grumpy old man.
He's
Oh
Clint
man.
I think he's more of a Walter Matthau grumpy old man. So then they discover that Data is not protecting the manifest. He's actually the manifest, and he's seen everything that's happened. So he knows, because he's recorded it, what they stole. And
I don't
and then,
remember Worf being this smart. That's all. Like, oh my
Yeah.
god, Worf is really smart now.
Sometimes we get smarter as we get older, or we get wiser. That is not the case for me, but some people have that luck.
well, of course not. Because you have a cat. No normal smart person has a cat. So
Man.
Don't be making fun of my chuba.
so we go back. We go back to the Titan, and Shaw has his geek moment.
This was hilarious. You talk about
This is hilarious.
fanboying. Oh my god, he was just geeking out.
This is cool.
I like the way he.
I was waiting for him to say, "Can I have your autograph?" I was waiting for that.
He
You know
kind
what
of
you got.
stutters. He's like, yeah, as a former engineer, I just want to say, and then Grumpy Geordi chews him a new one and says, "You're spewing fumes. You're being held by space duct tape, and you're destroying the ship." And then this line killed me. I don't think I've laughed out loud at a Star Trek episode like I did when Shaw says, "Yeah, it's been a weird week."
That was so great.
I thought that
That's
was
classic,
hilarious. And now I've taken this, and anytime anybody says anything bad about Star Trek on Twitter to either him or Terry Metalis, I'll just reply with this picture and say, "Yeah, it's been a weird week." So we figure out what the kids are doing. So the next generation has gone aboard the Klingon ship and stolen the cloaking device.
I
Which
wanted to see that.
you wanted to see the petty larceny.
The scene where they stole it. Yeah. That would be nice to see, I think. I like it. I would love to see it. Because you're going back to, remembrance of that episode where Kirk was there last. I was like,
Yeah, that would have been neat to see. I don't think you needed it because they were, you could tell when Seven tells Jack that it was kind of tough to find because when it sank to the bottom of San Francisco Bay, the cloaking device activated and they couldn't find it. And he's like, cloaking device? And then he gives that little side eye, and he's going, what's coming next. And I didn't realize Klingon technology is just plug and play now. That's like USB-C cables. You just connect this to your computer, and I mean, you would think a cloaking device is a little bit bigger than that, but I guess not.
And looks pretty.
Or as Worf would say, didn't Worf go superior technology, Klingon technology?
Yeah.
Yes, he says. Picard's like,
That's my favorite line.
Picard's like, Mr. Worf, we'll be decloaking right next to the station. You'll have 90 seconds. And Riker's like, decloaking? How are they cloaking? And then there goes Worf. My guess, superior Klingon technology. And there we go, disappearing into the night. And then this, I don't know if you noticed this this whole scene right here where they're doing the crane along the outer hull of the Daystrom Institute, but the sound that is coming out of the engines is the sound of the movie series Enterprise, that kind of whistling, whooshing noise, and it's from the movie sounds.
That's cool.
So they rescue everybody, and then Riker gets hit once again with. I've seen more transport inhibitors in this show than I think any series combined. You would think like there would be like an a transport inhibitor. You just wear a belt or something that prevents the transport inhibitor. But yeah, I guess. So then this was a cool moment, and it looks like the Iceman has melted a little bit when he sees Data.
His heart
gets a little bit of a smile, and they
His
jump
heart
off
grows
into
3 times larger.
Yes. Yeah.
Wrong franchise, sorry.
So then Worf promises to go get Riker. So
Yeah, I think his passive just kind of went out the door.
how many episodes are left?
Or whatever, he's gonna
Right.
go get Riker.
How many episodes are left?
Isn't it 10? 10 or
I
13?
think
Is it
there's
10?
only 10 episodes, so
And this is number 6?
yeah. So we have 4 more.
Wow. They have a lot to
4
wrap
more
up in
glorious
4 episodes.
See, because
The last one's gonna be heavy, man. I bet.
well, the rumors going around are that the last 2 episodes are best watched back to back like a movie.
Are they going to release
You
them
think
at
they'll
the
release
same
them at the
time?
same time?
No, not
No.
according to IMDb. That's March 30, April 6, April 13, and April 20. So
What happened
So-
with the Next Generation last 2 episodes?
but that was also a 2-hour. That was a 2-hour season finale that they split into 2 regular episodes for syndication. When it originally aired, it was a 2-hour special. But how cool would it be to leave Riker as a cliffhanger? Worf goes off on his own, and that's the next series, is Worf searching for Riker.
For Riker.
Yeah,
I would not complain.
I would not either. As long as it's the same guys writing it. So we have Picard and Jack. Yeah. Picard and Jack.
So my only complaint with the episode so far is, why is it so dark? Doesn't the starship have any lights?
This whole series has been this whole season has been so dark. I think that's been the main complaint from everybody that I've seen on Twitter or TikTok. It's like, do they have
it's not your fault, Star Trek.
Well, I've also seen that again on Twitter. Metalis was complaining to Paramount Plus that some of the settings were off on the streaming side. So there was a couple of episodes that were too dark, that when they fixed it and then re-uploaded it to the server, it kind of fixed it. But yeah, it's just way too dark. It's like,
I thought you meant dark by storyline, not dark like setting.
Dark setting. Like your camera, you can't see the people that are in the scene.
I thought you meant the storyline. I was like, well, I like it with this.
No, it's the setting.
Dark. All right, my bad.
All right.
Never mind. As in Saturday Night Live. What's your name?
So we have they can't really hook up the cloaking device. So then Geordi walks in and says, I can do it. Of course he can. And then there's a nice little moment with him and his daughter.
Help out with that. Being a Klingon,
I don't think he's an engineer, though. But I like this little moment where they reconcile, and she says, I wanted to be a pilot because you built the stuff and I could fly it. And then the reason I crashed it a lot is so that we can hang out together and fix it. And then that was another problem I had with this episode is your other daughter is she an engineer?
That's the impression I got.
Yep.
So what does he do? He says, go find a phone and call your mother. To the daughter that's an engineer who can help with this situation, he says, go call your mom and tell her we're not coming home for dinner. I'm thinking to myself, well, aren't you sending the wrong kid? It's like if I'm a doctor and my son is a doctor and my other son is a comic book artist, I don't send the other doctor to make a phone call and stitch up the dude with my comic book artist son. I don't know. It could just be me. But that was a nice moment. She says, why do you think I crashed so many speeders as a kid? And then we come back to Data, and Brent Spiner is...
This is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Brent Spiner is amazing. He is
what an actor.
So good. And the way his facial expression, which character it is. And I wish they didn't have that. I wish they took those lines out where he says, I'm Lore, I'm Sung.
I don't know if they
you could
did
just
that in case there's
trying to let people
casual viewers watching.
Yeah.
That's why they did that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think for the
I
hardcore
understand, but
they know based on voice.
and the look, the way like he turns them on.
Yeah, he just
And then he's,
slides
into
so each character so smoothly. I mean, you knew as soon as he gave that smirk, he was Lore.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
to me, just you don't need those lines. But I guess it is for
Or
the
it could be like a pure computer program saying, I am this, and then you speak. It could be all a simulated computer program in his mind to reboot, because he's rebooting,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Maybe. That's a good
Look
point.
at that facial expression. That's an awesome facial expression.
I would like to
show people pictures. That's weird. I didn't know he could do that. Yeah.
So this is
creepy.
one of my not favorite scenes.
Is that new?
I was like thinking R2D2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like R2D2.
So is that new? Did he do that before? Because I don't remember him doing that ever.
I don't think he's ever done that before.
Well,
It was creepy as hell. That kind of freaked me out a little bit.
didn't they say in the episode that he's a positronic brain inside of an actual aging body? So I guess he's an android, because this is a new body.
Yeah.
So I guess they could have given him
the movies, right?
projector eyes.
I forgot about that.
It's just an upgrade.
It's an upgrade.
Yeah.
Come on, kids, we watch the show. Data, play it.
So he keeps saying Jean-Luc Picard, and they think he's trying to talk to Picard, but it's actually what they stole. And then we see.
Why would they have his body? That just boggles my mind. And why would they?
That's
And
like
why would
Section
the
31 went
changelings?
back to get Kirk.
man.
But why would the
It's going back to the
changelings
board,
want his
I tell
body?
you.
That's a good question.
I'm just hoping the writers don't screw it up right here. Because, like, what are you going to do with his body?
Star Trek, Invasion of the Bystanders.
Is it
So
because he was once Borg? But I mean, he had everything taken out.
I'm telling you, there's
right?
something in there. There might have something in there that we need. I'm telling you, it's going to go back to the Borg. That's my strong feeling. I could be wrong.
yeah, I don't know what the Borg could.
Well, season 2, at the end of season 2,
right?
the Borg, they're friendly with the Borg now after season 2.
But there are implants in there, right? That's supposed to be in their bodies.
Yeah, because I think he still, like, hears their voices.
He can hear them,
sometimes when
yeah.
they're-
So
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what advantage Picard's body would be to the changelings.
So you don't think it's about implants?
I have no clue.
It's
it
like,
could
oh my
be-
gosh, the changelings have infiltrated the entire Federation, and they just want this.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
this is-
Yeah, you got a
They're trying to
weapon
do
that
something bigger, though, right?
you got a weapon that can drop cities on. Take a building and drop it somewhere else, but you want a crusty old 90-year-old body.
Yeah.
Tell you,
With
man,
aromatics.
It's all pointing to the Borg. I'm telling you, it's point to the board.
I'm trying to think of what
Bill,
episodes,
Bill, what do you think about this?
You know, like I'm like, I hope the writers do it right, because I'm kind of skeptical
You're on
now
the ship.
of why the changelings have done all this just for his body.
Well, they still want Jack too. So what the hell's the connection outside of father-son that the changelings want? Is it something genetically, or what the hell?
Yeah.
Now,
And you know,
Because
Jack,
Jack's alive,
he's kind of like,
his old body.
I was thinking like that girl from Firefly. Like, when did he just have combat experience to kill those security people from the last
right,
episode?
and that's
And how
not
do you know?
aromatic. You know, what is it? Aromatic syndrome. That does not give you Jackie Chan abilities. You know, you do not turn into Jason Bourne.
I want
Because
those abilities.
yeah, well, I just don't see what the red door means. I don't see what the vines, when he has those visions, the vines on the doors, and I think, didn't he also see vines when there was another time? Didn't somebody else have vines on them that he saw earlier
7.
on?
Like
7.
right before he shot the Vulcan, I think she all of a sudden had vines behind her head.
Right. Yes. So what is that?
I don't know. It's the only thing. Usually I can figure out what's going on most of the time, but I am so perplexed and confused, because it's like, yeah, he might be having visions and hallucinations because of this syndrome that he has, but why is it's something to do with the changelings?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it is they could want. But I guess we'll find out, and we have 7 days to wait, or 6 days. There's never been a show in recent memory where I look at and I get up in the morning and I'm like, oh, tonight is Star Trek, and then I'll be like, oh no, it's just Sunday. You know, it's like.
But you know, I feel like a kid again, because it's not like I'm binging the whole series. I'm anticipating the next week. I'm like, oh my god, I have to plan my whole week around Thursday night now, or you know.
Well, I do that
Right.
for a
Which
lot of series. I mean,
and once it's over,
Last of Us, I just could not wait for Sunday nights. It was like, oh my god, hurry up and get to Sunday night when Last of Us was airing. But yeah, I do that for a lot of shows. You know, if they're really
there's I think this right now is it's the only thing I look forward to. You know, it's the only new thing that I watch. You know, other than that, the only thing I could do without.
That's so good, dude. You're clocking out before the time's run.
So
please move back to the bottom. All right.
You're like, I'm done. Episode 3. Screw you guys.
Debbie got promoted.
Woohoo! I've moved up in the ranks.
I'm still in a void.
So then we go back and they're beating up Riker, and she wipes out the 2 guards that are. So this thing had like holes in his head, right? There was like
kind of alien.
So yeah, and not very smart, because you know, when I heard when these aliens run fast they whistle. So
oh no. Dad joke.
Not a good design. So the
There you go. I was waiting for that.
so this thing punches Riker, and he's like, "You're not. Do you think after 30 years, I'm gonna rat out my friends?" So then he turns around and he toasts these two, which you can't see because it's so dark. And then it turns into a puddle of goo, and I think it looks better like this, but it turns into Amanda Plummer, and you see that she's on the Shrike, and somehow the Shrike showed up.
Yeah. How did that
So
happen?
Well, I think that they're working with Starfleet.
Portal. No, I
Could
think
they
it's
be
portal.
working with Starfleet?
Well, they've been infiltrated Starfleet.
Yeah,
They're
so
everywhere.
they know where everybody is, and they show up here and grab Riker, and then they take him aboard the Shrike, and then it becomes that, what is it, Fast and Furious 9, where you got the no, is it 8? Fate of the Furious, where you have the mother and the son behind the bars, behind the cage on the plane, and she gives him a look of like, "Oh, Will," like it's his fault.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, what?
Well, maybe,
No-
maybe
no
she was
wonder.
happy
I
where
was
she was
thinking-
at.
I was thinking she's a changeling also.
That's what I thought, because I was like, is that really her or is it a changeling? That
Is
was my thoughts too.
Yeah, it's like, what happened? Like, no wonder he left.
Damn it.
So, I think that's it. That's the end. It's cliffhanger.
Dun, dun, dun.
I think she's a
Overall,
changeling.
it could be. But overall, what out of 5, what do you guys give this one?
5.
5.
So many Easter eggs.
100%.
Yeah.
This was a good one. So,
It's like each episode got better and better and better and better.
Let's hope it stays that way.
yeah, it could be.
Are you getting Abby to the podcast back, or am I still banished in the Neverworld?
No, you're back.
No, you're back.
You and me are on the lower levels, though.
Oh, there you go. I rewatched the broadcast and like, there I am. Okay.
Well, you'll be the only one that watches it.
I watch it.
So-
Hey, we got 3 new people now. Let's give them a shout out. We got 3 new subscribers, John. You want to say
Yeah,
their
I don't know where they
names?
went to. We have Nana Dawn and Mary Chase and Andrea Morales. Thank you for joining, becoming subscribers. Don't forget to like and share the video, and we appreciate you spending time with us. Next week's episode is called Dominion.
Boy.
Ooh.
So should be a good one. That makes 7, so there's 3 left, right? No, 4.
Yep.
7, 8, 9, 10. 4 more.
There's
I
7
do
before
math
now.
well. I do math. So. Well, thanks for watching. We kept it under all night long. We kept it somewhere between all night long and 3 hours. So
No
we
cows.
really appreciate. Thanks you guys for joining. We'll look forward to seeing you next week. And don't forget, like and subscribe, share the stream. If there's anything you want to comment on, please leave a comment in the comment section. Other than drop dead and drink a bottle of pee. I got one like that last week. So,
Oh my God!
Oh my goodness.
What the hell? What's that got to do with
that
Star
must have been a
Trek?
I don't know. It must have been a Star Wars fan. So,
Come on.
Ow!
It was me and Incognito.
oh, was that you?
No,
Yeah,
Okay.
Come on.
I thought
yeah, it wasn't me.
No, it'd be like.
I thought I detected your foul stench when I was brought on board. So, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for hanging out with us. And Bill, what do you got coming up? You still on vacation from your movies? Still
I'm still on
racking up
break.
still racking up the awards, though, right?
I am. This is crazy. So I'm on break.
It is.
Still.
I've seen you.
So, yeah.
It's crazy. I've seen your work. Debbie, what do you have? What do you have coming up? Is Bill trying to figure that one out?
Tomorrow, two of our gamers, Retro and Wolf, are doing a 12-hour charity stream. They have a family member who is battling cancer, so they're trying to raise funds for that. If you go to the Geek News Now Facebook page, there's a post there. It has the GoFundMe link. It has the link for their Facebook Live. It'll start at 8 a.m. in the morning. They'll be playing different games throughout the day. And if they raise, I think Devin told me if they raise $400 from their stream, then Devin will shave his head. So
Whoa.
we want to see that. So that's tomorrow. And then, of course, Thursdays, Star Wars Cantina Hour on at 9:30 Eastern on the Geek News Now Network YouTube channel. So,
Any MCU Mondays, or are you guys still on break?
we're on break until I think the week before Guardians Volume 3 comes out, which I think they come out May 5th. So whatever the weekend before that or the Monday before that, I think we're going to have a show then. So
It's really slowed down, hasn't it?
I am so disappointed because I love talking Marvel. So
Jeff, what do you got coming up? You have any videos?
Yes, I have a cool Charles Schultz video coming out next week. Stay tuned. And playing video games, of course.
Of course. All right. Well, Deb, if you wouldn't mind, put the link to the Facebook page and the 12-hour stream in the description or in the comment section below, and we'll let people know about it. And so, thanks everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And
Victor, ready for the
don't
picture?
forget.
You do another photo? Okay, hang on once. Got it.
All right. We will see you next time. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week, and we will see you
on the next one.